Hi, everyone. My name is Celena Canode. I'm the Marketing Campaign Manager for Senior Living here at G5. I want to welcome you all to our Turn Marketing into Move-ins, Top Trends for 2020. I'd like for you to meet our host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamison Gosselin. I am the Vice President of Senior Living Strategy here at G5. I've spent about 15 years in the senior living business at a number of different companies and the Argentum Trade Association, and I'm thrilled to join you today. Craig?
And my name is Craig Branstad. I'm a solutions architect, solely focused in the senior living vertical here at G5.
Wonderful. And so now we're going to take a look at what your top challenges were in 2019.
So 2019 was a pretty big year for senior living, and not necessarily in good ways. It's experienced its all-time low in terms of occupancy, and that's a tough place to be for a lot of companies right now. That low is forcing companies to really think a lot more strategically about how they're deploying their resources, and one of those areas has definitely been marketing. One of the other things that we're seeing in senior living is the pressure from the low unemployment rate. We just can't find enough employees to work in the senior living space. And, G5, we just announced a great new relationship with the Washington State University Granger Cobb Institute. And we believe that that is one way that we can help kind of relieve the pressure on some of the workforce issues that we are experiencing now, and which is going to be projected far into the future. So we're hoping to be able to solve that. Brand and management and equity, it's a huge important area for senior living as we really work hard to showcase why senior living is a great option for seniors and their families as their loved ones age. And then affordability. The middle market is something that we have talked about as a senior living business for years. However, we have not addressed it very well. And, there are statistics out there that I was reading the other day that people just are not saving. The boomers especially were not big savers, they're big spenders. And my concern in the middle market is we're trying to figure out how do we create this affordable product that's affordable for the businesses that are actually creating it. So we're stumbling a lot in that world. So it's really how do we as companies that serve the senior living business figure out how do we provide affordable options so our clients can look at options to make things more affordable for seniors and their families. Craig, what?
And Jamison, this is all to say that this is why marketing matters more now than ever. Because if we think about the challenges that we faced in 2019, they're not going away anytime soon. And in fact, as the boomers begin to age and look for their next step in life, we want to make sure that our portfolios are ahead of the game and we're putting ourselves out there in a competitive marketplace so that they're able to interact with our brand, understand what we have to offer, and move into our community. So marketing really starts now because it's going to impact your occupancy in 2020 and 2025.
It's so true. It's so true. And then, when we were all at Smash, we had heard from not one of our clients, but somebody that's in the industry that, all of these issues coming together are kind of creating a huge opportunity for digital marketing to help solve a lot of the cost problems that they see not only in their promotional mix, but throughout their company. We even had people coming to us asking us about HR recruiting questions. So digital marketing shouldn't just be seen necessarily to help with seniors and their families, but it can also be helping as a solution for recruiting, retention, and deploying brand, not only from a marketing standpoint, but also from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, we can be very smart and strategic about our marketing to help address all of these challenges.
I absolutely agree. And I think that marketing gives us the ability to know seniors and their families. What are the things that you think we can learn from our marketing and the data that comes from it when it comes to seniors?
Well, and according to a Forrester research report, companies who are ahead in customer experience have 5 times greater revenue growth than those who are behind on that. And it's because they understand their buyers and how they want to buy. They understand what they expect and how they want to engage. And so that sort of kind of proposition is really what digital marketing is created for. More and more seniors and their families are going to digital marketing. And, they're really becoming aware of those solutions. So that's what we really need to be focusing on.
Yeah, and you know, you use the word experience, and I think that that's really what's important here, is to understand that it is a complex world out there when we think about marketing, and the experience that your potential resident has and interacts with your brand is vitally important, because depending upon where they are in their stage of discovery, it's going to dictate the type of experience they need to have with our marketing efforts. So understanding where the user is, where that potential resident is in that buyer's journey, is going to be vital to your success to being a smart marketer.
So at Smash, I had a conversation with one of our clients that talked about some of their top concerns being visibility and ease. So visibility into what works, what are people saying about them, the ease of pulling data and understanding that data, and responding to reviews. Is that what you two have been hearing?
Well, from my standpoint, I mean, even when I was on the senior living operations side, we wanted transparency, complete transparency throughout all the numbers that were being produced out of every dollar that we were spending on marketing. And that transparency is coming to light in many ways through analytics. And, you know, being able to take a group of numbers, have those numbers presented over a trend, and then to be able to look at that trend and to develop insights off of that is critical. But it all starts at having a mechanism or an application that is constantly working through those numbers and presenting that information to you. So whether it's something like what we have here, you know, for G5 Analytics, or, you know, a business intelligence tool, all of that, those sorts of tools are constantly crunching numbers, presenting trends, allowing someone to look at it, present insights. But, you know, that's hot today. I think, and we're going to get into this later, is what's going to be hot tomorrow is beyond us just looking at the data and looking at trends and trying to pull out insights, is going to be the predictive marketing. And that's the exciting stuff.
Yeah, and I'd add on here that what's hot today, all four of these topics, it really revolves around understanding your data and understanding, and then operationalizing it. It's great to have analytics, or it's great to have a program for responding to reviews, but how does that actually impact the community to drive user engagement from a digital standpoint, but then also the engagement from a physical standpoint at the community itself? We need to take these mountains of data that we're starting to accumulate and distill it down to actual decisions that we can make to impact our bottom line.
Yeah. Well, and if you go through each of these four, right, it's kind of, you know, we talked about analytics a little bit, but the rep and social, you know, that's become hot in the past year. Because, well, you know, people think Google's taking over the world. They're not, but they are certainly creating a platform that is going to allow marketers to expand their reach in many different ways. A lot of people are talking now about Google My Business. And Google My Business is hot right now because, you know, Google is obviously creating a great little storefront for so many businesses. And that storefront is not only talking to the back office engines of Google and the algorithms to help prompt organic search results, but those reviews that are being placed on the Google My Business pages are also allowing sentiment to work into those organic search results too. So there's a lot of things going on now that are feeding into rep and social. So having a more sophisticated way to look at rep and social is going to become quickly a marketing professional's top priority.
Yeah, so I mean, social proof is now a cornerstone of SEO. There's no way around that. Whereas 2-3 years ago, you could probably get away with not responding to reviews, or, you know, being a little loose with it. But now Google puts so much emphasis on the social proof and the interaction with actual folks that are interacting with your brand, that it's vital to have a strategy in place.
Yeah.
So Jamison, you mentioned 2020. What do we have to look forward to?
So in 2020, there are going to be three big things that I feel that we're going to be conversations for marketers, not only in senior living, but across many other different business lines. And predictive marketing is going to be a big one. the age of AI is finally coming about. We've been talking about it for about a decade now. I know Watson participated on Jeopardy a few years ago. It is starting to be integrated into a lot of different applications and services. And so predictive marketing and helping us better understand the buyer journey, and that is not a clear flow through a process, but it's all over the place. Predictive marketing is going to help us do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the name of the game. We touched on it a little bit earlier in this buyer's journey, and understanding where your user is, and using predictive marketing and machine learning and artificial intelligence, we can understand where our user is and serve them up not only the marketing message that they need at that time, but also a personalized experience with your brand. This is where digital marketing is shifting. It's the personalization of the marketing efforts.
Yeah, well, and it's what's really cool. What I find fascinating is, and especially in senior living, we've been so focused on people that are about ready to start the research or get into the research. So we're kind of in the middle part of the buyer journey when we really start true lead generation tactics, things like direct mail, things like digital advertising, whatever it might be. What senior living people are finally starting to figure out is, if we want to truly start welcoming younger residents with less acuity, we've got to go to the higher part of the funnel and convince them of the value proposition of our senior living communities. And so that includes things like content marketing. It includes things like social media. It includes things like ads within social media. It includes organic opportunities. But so there's so much that needs to be done, but the predictive marketing is going to allow us to find those people that are at the higher aspects of the buyer funnel and the buyer journey, so we can start working our content messages and driving our value proposition to those people.
So you mentioned all these different aspects of content marketing and all these different levels of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But we know a lot of our clients and a lot of other communities out there have lean marketing teams. How do you think predictive marketing is going to make their lives easier?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the way that predictive marketing is going to help a lean team be successful is because we're going to leverage technology. To put it quite frankly, we moved from the dark ages of, throwing an ad out there in a newspaper and never understanding its value or its success, or not being able to track its success. Predictive marketing is going to relieve the human element to understand where our leads are coming from and then duplicate those efforts. If we can use technology to not only track the user through the buyer's journey, but understand what triggers them to convert into a qualified lead, then we can duplicate that effort, removing the need for, a team of 10 to pour over mountains of data. We can use computers basically to get what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, when you're talking about, what is it? Google has told us, or somebody's told us, 10.7 touch points along the way to buy.
Yeah, on average.
That's a lot. And so predictive marketing and all this technology has to go into the world of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has to start to be educated on it, and we have to start building models that will help people more efficiently spend their dollars, to find the right people where they are in the buyer journey, and then attract them to our communities for professional sales folks in each senior living community to work through those leads and move them in.
Wonderful. All right, so our next trend is reputation management.
Yeah, so reputation management, as we had said before, there was some research recently, earlier this year, I know we had written about it a little bit, about the importance of reputation and responding. And sadly, out of all the industries, I think they looked at 25 different industries, but senior living was ranked towards the bottom in terms of things like the star rating, the response time, that sort of thing. And so, we really, which kind of surprised me too, because senior living is such a human-oriented business. And it just says that senior living really needs to step up and adopt the applications that are not only monitoring reputation and reviews in the marketplace, but also have a more sophisticated response program to those reviews, because reputation, again, is not only driving your brand in the marketplace, but it's also becoming more important from the standpoint of driving organic search results on Google, Bing, et cetera.
Yeah, and I look at reputation management from a little bit of a different point of view as well, is that this really speaks to the fact that our users are more knowledgeable than they ever have been. Jamison, you just mentioned that on average, a user will interact with about 11 different platforms online before making a buying decision.
Mm-hmm.
So the user knows more about our community than probably our sales consultant, because the sales consultant at the community can, of course, speak to the amenities or the care levels or what the activity schedule looks like. But the average user now has absorbed that information online, but they've also read about the community. They know exactly what it's like for mom to live there. So they're coming in armed with that information and making very powerful and strong decisions before they even raise their hand to say that they're interested. So managing your online brand and having a reputation tool that allows you to do this will allow you to nurture that lead in a more meaningful way, because you know they've done their homework.
It's funny that you say that. I was at CALA, the California Assisted Living Association show recently, and I was at a restaurant and two young people were asked if they needed more time with the menu, and they're like, oh no, we looked everything up ahead of time. We know exactly what we want.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
And so I think that really does play here as well. We're all online. The boomers are online.
Mm-hmm.
The Generation X is online. And they're learning about what is going on in these communities from what other people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's the new word of mouth.
Yeah. And I would add to that it's not only that they're online, but they have an expectation of that online experience. Even if they're a non-native internet user and they've adopted it over their life like a boomer has, they, whether they know it or not, expect to have a personalized experience online. They want to see the information that they're looking for in a meaningful and consumable way so that they're able to make that decision and order from the menu quickly.
So personalization. Personalization can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. What do you see personalization meaning to senior living?
Senior living as a business itself, we pride ourselves on personalized approaches for our residents and their families, and it all starts really with the point at which the person comes in for a tour to the community. We really like to personalize those tours. We really like to sit down with the residents over lunch and have a conversation and really get to know them. And then at the time of move-in, we start doing usually something, especially in assisted living, called an individualized service plan, which really gets at what sort of care is the person going to need, but how does the person like to receive care, and at what time of day, and when do they like to eat, and all those sorts of things. And so senior living has constantly evolved around the personalization as a reaction to what was the nursing home back in the 70s and the 80s. And so now that we talk about it within digital marketing, we want to be able to extend all the great personalization that we do at the product level and the property level and take it up to all of our marketing. And it's not an easy thing to do. It requires things such as developing personalized web pages. It includes things such as marketing automation. It includes personalized messages. And yes, you can do an email and Outlook one by one by one and spend weeks doing that. But the fact is there's technology out there today that can help people achieve it within hours. It's just a matter of focusing in on working with good vendors who understand those concepts of personalization and then moving forward.
Yeah, Jamison, I like what you had to say about the senior living industry as a whole, is that this idea of personalization isn't a foreign concept. You're often adjusting your tours or your care schedule based upon what that resident actually needs. And the idea or the goal is to translate that into a digital way, so that when I have marketing collateral out there, that it's personalized to that user's experience, so that when I'm searching for my mom, or my mom's searching for herself, she's receiving information that is customized to what she's actually looking for, and we're putting that information out there. Again, I'll go back to what we were just talking about a second ago with reputation management, is that whether we know it or not, we expect a personalized experience. And we have Netflix up here as an example, right? Without Netflix guiding what my next show or my next movie is going to be, I'd be lost. But that's personalization. And that's what we're trying to achieve. So again, I'm receiving the information I'm looking for, and I'm almost being, the question is being asked of me to explore further on information that's presented to me.
And as you say that and talking about Netflix, and I was thinking about, I get upset when Netflix doesn't get it right.
Right.
But I also realize I may not be giving them enough data. How big of a factor is data in personalization?
I mean, it's huge. It's what drives the personalized experience. And yes, you know, some of this can be a little bit scary. Let's be frank about it. But in terms of marketing and marketing in a meaningful and smart way, it's what drives it. And again, whether we like it or not, it's what we've been trained to receive. We're trained to receive personalized information, and quite honestly, we crave it. If you don't get what you want, so then you just mentioned, you know, Netflix missing the mark on the next show, it's upsetting, and you abandon that search. Now, if we translate that into our world and we miss that mark maybe 5% of the time, how does that translate into qualified leads? That's missed opportunity. So we want to use data in a smart and a respectful way, but in a way that users have come to expect us to use their data.
Yeah, the age of one size fits all is definitely over. And especially, you know, we can still a little bit get away with it with the silent generation and the baby boomers, because they were grown up within the one size fits all generation. But it's going to change quickly with millennials, Xers, and the Zers. You know, so as an Xer start becoming the adult child, which is happening sooner rather than later, you know, I would expect more personalization.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're going to talk about now what you can do today to take what we've talked about and make it a bit more actionable. So we hope you all take this information, maybe evaluate your own marketing goals, business goals, and then align them with your current marketing strategies. We also hope that you work closely with all your partners to be sure you're getting the best return on your investment, and making sure that your marketing positions your brand effectively, and that you are able to understand how residents and families are using reviews and implement your own review strategy. If you have questions on any of this, I know we're all available. We'll provide contact information for Jamison and Craig so you can follow up. Thank you for joining us.